Who are you? I repeated. Call me Figment if you must refer to me in some way. Otherwise, call me nothing. Really? Really, phone? You messed up my pretentious reading. Good morning, Nerdfighteria. Today is Monday. Well, actually, it's Sunday, but tomorrow might get a little bit weird for me, so I'm trying to get everything done in advance. But anyway, this week's topic is creative outlets, and I think it's a really important topic for us to discuss here in this group. I mean, I always try to, make sure that I'm plugging my laptop or other devices into creative outlets so that when I use them, they're acting creatively. On a more serious note, to talk about some of my creative outlets, my biggest one would probably be my writing. I tend to write a lot of longer projects, mostly science fiction and fantasy, novel-length projects. I tend to be really, really bad at writing short things because I like having tons of characters and really complex plots woven through. I have 2 books that are in print through a self-publishing thing. They're both books of the same series called Shattering Reality. I'm not going to try to make this an ad for it. In fact, I probably wouldn't recommend reading it. It's probably not the best thing that I've ever written. And it's kind of an unfinished project because there were supposed to be 2 more books. But if you are really that interested, I will put a link in the doobly-doo. My biggest noveling project is Blatant Acts of Heroism, which I've actually been working on for about 2 years now, kind of off and on. It's in an extensive editing phase right now, I guess, but I'm really bad at editing. I think I say I'm really bad at things a lot. But it's going to be great when it's finished, and I'm hoping to get it legitimately published. A lot of my writing, I really like focusing on building a creative world. I think that it allows me to explore different ideas, and sometimes I'll try to draw some parallels between our world and the creative world that I've made. I think that the best fiction in some way brings out truth. To quote V for Vendetta, which quotes something else, artists use lies to tell the truth, and I think that that's an apt assessment of what I try to do. I try to be inspired by people like Poe or Shakespeare or people like that set up really advanced worlds. Joss Whedon, throw him in there with the classics. Another major creative outlet for me is tabletop role-playing games. Now, this would be something like Dungeons & Dragons, although there are a lot of role-playing games besides just Dungeons & Dragons, some of which have a similar fantasy feel to them, and some of which have a completely different feel to them. I've actually run a Doctor Who-themed one, and I'm currently running a Firefly-themed game. What I like to focus on, both as a player and as a game master, is the story element of the game. And I think that that's something that's really important as to why it's a creative outlet for me. As a player, I get to take a character and explore this world that I'm unfamiliar with, something that someone else has set up. And as that character, I can experience things in a different way than I would as myself. That character might have different thoughts on things than I would. And so it's an escape into portraying that character, much the same as if I'm noveling's totally a verb now. If I'm noveling and I'm writing a character, it's a very similar process, but in this way I'm interacting with a group of people and something that I don't entirely control. Or as a game master, I might entirely control the world to a degree, but it allows my players, my friends, to interact with that world. So in that way, it's my ability to share my creative side, the worlds that I develop, with people in a way that I couldn't necessarily share them in a reader-author relationship. It's much more interactive than that. The choices that the players make actually impact and change the world, which I think is a notable thing that makes these role-playing things, at least for me, kind of like a group storytelling. I also used to do a bunch of stuff with video, full-length things as well as shorter things, a lot of which is on my YouTube account, but I haven't done a lot of that in a while. I'd like to get back into it, but people's schedules aren't terribly conducive for it, and I don't have a lot of time to expand on it anyway. So I'm going to cut off here. I hope you enjoyed listening to me ramble on, and I will see you next week. Nope. 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 Man, what was I thinking when I wrote this?